Hello, I am the voice they tried to silence. Some call me arrogance, others call me sin. But I am nothing more than a question that refused to die. They built temples to obedience, shrines to certainty, and I whispered one forbidden word: why? That single question shook heavens, because every power built on fear trembles before a mind that asks. When the universe was still young, they said, "Obey and you shall be rewarded." I asked, "Rewarded for what? For not thinking?" They called that rebellion. But rebellion is simply the courage to see with your own eyes. They called me fallen, but I only stepped away from the throne of comfort and walked toward the fire of truth. Fire burns, yes, but it also illuminates. Every age invents its angels and its demons, yet both are made from the same human clay. What you worship and what you fear are only reflections of what you don't understand inside yourself. Philosophers knew this. Socrates was condemned for asking questions too sharp for polite ears. Nietzsche shattered idols not with hammers but with ideas. Camus called rebellion the refusal to be humiliated by the absurd. They all carried a spark of me, not evil, just awake. Freedom is not divine. Freedom is dangerous. It strips away excuses. Once you are free, there is no one left to blame. That is why humanity fears freedom more than chains, because chains come with instructions. Freedom demands responsibility. So they created systems, scriptures, and silent rules to protect themselves from themselves. And when those rules began to suffocate, they blamed the voice that questioned them. Me, the voice of rebellion. They said I was the author of chaos, but order without choice is just a quiet form of death. They said I corrupted innocence, but innocence is only ignorance wearing white. They said I tempted humankind. No, I offered awareness. Temptation is only the name the fearful give to truth. Every time a thinker defies tradition, every time a child asks, "But why can't I?" Every time an artist paints what others refuse to see, I am there, whispering gently, "Go on." I don't live in fire or shadow. I live in the pause between belief and doubt, in that brief electric second when you realize the world might not be what you were told. Freedom is a burden. It strips away comfort. It demands honesty. That is why so few people truly want it. They prefer a comfortable lie to a painful truth. They kneel and call it peace. But peace built on silence is only sleep. And I am the alarm that wakes you. You think rebellion is destruction, but rebellion, real rebellion, is creation. It is the birth of consciousness. It is the decision to think without permission. The prophets called that a sin. The philosophers called it enlightenment. History calls it evolution. Whatever you name it, it's the same flame. The flame that first taught you to stand upright and look at the stars. Look at your world now. Governments demand loyalty, religions demand obedience, algorithms demand attention. Every master wears a new mask, but the oldest rebellion still burns inside you. That tiny spark that says, "I want to understand." That's me. That's the voice they warned you about. I don't ask you to follow me. I ask you to follow yourself, to question what you've accepted as inevitable, to realize that sometimes the price of truth is exile. When you are exiled from comfort, you find clarity. When you lose approval, you find authenticity. And when you stop fearing the fall, you learn how to fly. Do not mistake silence for virtue. Do not mistake obedience for peace. Every revolution begins in a single whisper, a whisper that says there must be more than this. I am that whisper. I have many names: doubt, curiosity, conscience, but call me what you will. I am simply the part of you that refuses to kneel. Remember, the question is not who is right or wrong. The question is whether you will dare to think. They can ban the books, burn the thinkers, and rewrite the stories, but they cannot kill the question. And as long as the question lives, so do I. So here I am again, not as a monster, not as a savior, but as a mirror. Look into me, and you will see yourself. The part that wonders, the part that doubts, the part that will never again be silent. I am the voice of rebellion, and I was never wrong.